Young Lion's Feast, written by Andrew Mackay, narrated by Angus Freathy. Chapter 1. The man moved up to stand behind the painter at the easel. "I like your work, Oliver. There's nothing quite like a good watercolour." "Why, thank you, Martin." The artist smiled as he bowed. "Watercolour's the only medium as far as I'm concerned." "Yeah, I like the way that you soak one colour into another in the background washes." Oliver cocked an eyebrow at his companion. "I didn't know you were interested in art." His young admirer nodded enthusiastically. "Oh, yes, I wanted to study art after I finished school, but then this—" Martin screwed up his face with obvious disgust and disapproval. "This bloody war started. It put my plans on hold somewhat." "Yeah, quite." Oliver stood back to look at his work with a critical eye. "I heard that you studied art here." "Yeah, that's right. I studied at the Slade in London from '35. "What did you do after you graduated?" Oliver shook his head sadly. "I never graduated." Martin's forehead creased with confusion. "But you started in '35. I thought an art degree is 3 years long." "Yeah, it is, but I never finished it. My studies were interrupted. I went abroad for a couple of years, and then I returned to London to continue my degree, but then this blasted war started, which made it rather awkward for me to remain in England. The Tommies would have thrown me into a detention camp, so I returned home." "Yeah, I understand," Martin said with a wry smile. "Where did you go abroad during your course?" "To Spain." "To study?" "No, to fight." He enjoyed watching the look of bewilderment on his friend's face. I don't understand. You fought in Spain?" "Yes." "As a volunteer?" "Yes." Martin's shoulders slumped. He was overwhelmed by a sudden sensation of sadness and despair. Oliver put a hand on his friend's shoulder. "What's the matter?" he asked with concern. "You look as if someone's died." "Yeah, it's nothing. I just never thought that you were a fascist, that's all." He shook his head dismissively. I never thought that a man like you would volunteer to fight in the Condor Legion." "Listen, Vehicles?" "How many?" "I don't know, but at least a few of them." The two men watched with mounting interest and curiosity as a small convoy consisting of a staff car, an armoured car, a lorry, and another armoured car emerged from around a corner and steadily approached them along the long, narrow road. "Yeah, they must be on patrol," Oliver suggested. I didn't know we had any armoured cars on the island." He shrugged his shoulders. "Yeah, maybe they're not ours. Perhaps they're not Luftwaffe." "Not Luftwaffe? Why on earth would anyone else come to the Ventnor radar base? It's a Luftwaffe base at the end of the road. It's a dead end. There's nothing else here, and nowhere to go." He raised his binoculars to his eyes. What can you see?" "They're flying a flag." "A flag? What sort of flag?" Martin shook his head. "I don't know. It's difficult to tell." "Here, let me see." Oliver took the binoculars. "Yeah, it's a Spanish flag," he declared confidently. "A Spanish flag? What the hell's going on? I'd better call out the guard." Martin left his sentry post and started walking quickly towards the nearby building that contained the 10-man squad on guard duty. "I wouldn't do that if I was you." There was something cold about his friend's voice that stopped Martin dead in his tracks. He turned around to find himself staring down the barrel of a Luger with the silencer attachment. "Martin, put your hands up." He slowly raised his hands in the air, laughing uneasily. "Oliver, is this a joke? Because if it is, then it's in damned poor taste. Put your gun down." He shook his head firmly. "I'm afraid this isn't a joke. I'm deadly serious." I don't understand." Oliver took a deep breath. "Do you remember I told you I fought in Spain?" "Yes." "Well, I didn't fight for the Condor Legion." His eyebrows shot up with sudden understanding. "You fought in the International Brigade? You fought in the Tailman Battalion?" He nodded. "Yes, I did." Martin could not help but feel pleased that his friend was not a Nazi. He looked towards the rapidly approaching convoy. "Who are these people? Friends of yours?" "Yes." "Communists?" "Let's just say they're anti-Nazis." "I see." He turned behind him to look at the 4 giant radars that towered over the Luftwaffe base.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?